YouTube people, what is going on? Northeast Ohio Cards and Comics here for another impromptu live stream. No guests that I know of, though that could change. Not sure how long we'll go for. My initial thought was maybe about an hour. I don't know if I'll go as long as I normally would go on these, but we'll see where chat takes us. Global sports card investor, what is up? I swear to God, all you do is watch YouTube videos all day. I don't know what your job is, but if it's to watch YouTube videos all day, you are fantastic at it because you pop in on everything. What is up, Dominic? What is up, Tatuga? Salty Dog, James. Best way to sell cards under $10. I personally don't mess with stuff like that. I would probably just make a big bundle and sell them all together. Like make team lots or something, if it's something along those lines, if you could do that. Jeff Maker, Joel, what's going on? Romas, what's going on? Yeah, living the dream. Kyle, I haven't seen what 90. I've not been closely following 90 MU box prices, so I don't know what they're sitting at right now. My lives are indeed random. I like it that way. I don't like doing them like super pre-scheduled in advance unless it's something specific. That way I get to hit different audiences. Like if I always did a Monday at 8 o'clock, then I'm always going to have the same people in chat. Nothing wrong with the Monday at 8 o'clock chat. But by bouncing them around all the time, I constantly have a different set of viewers because of time zones and countries and the whole 9 yards. So I like to purposely try to keep them fast and loose. And I never know when I'm going to have time to do them. Plus, there's a lot of other people that do them. You know, like normally Monday is flipping Steve's night. He's not able to do one tonight because he has a fantasy football draft. So I figured I'd sneak in and do a live stream on Monday. Friday, usually Dakota's live. Thursday, Brad and Dustin are live. So, you know, I just try to squeeze them in whenever I think I could get one. So, thank you, James, for the kind words. Knoxville card show. Oh, great. It look great. Going to get them graded. National. Nice. Nothing wrong with Luca numbered. The DAC thing's interesting. I don't really have any like deep thoughts on it. I did watch that video today when I was cooking dinner with the DAC golds both numbered. Clearly something went on there with an error on Panini's part, in my opinion. Oh, excuse me. So I think it's as simple as something like that. Obviously, one of them, they may both be real for all we know. I don't know. I think I'd keep waiting. The longer the grading companies stay closed, the longer I think that stuff continues to drop. What's up, sports card? Whatever. Comics still hot. Some softening. Some have come down. I've talked about it in recent weeks. A lot of stuff that got big run-ups, just like sports cards, have started to pull back and are leveling off. Most of the key books that I was specifically focused on have leveled off at higher floors than what they were at before. I'll be honest with you, I've spent the last probably 5 days specifically trying to buy a couple comic books, like trying to track one down at the right price point in the right grade, because it's something older and it's something slightly more expensive than something I'd be able to afford in a 9.8. So I've been the last 3 to 5 days, I have been deep diving the comic book market to try to track down a key book. There's a couple of very specific books that have dipped pretty good, and I want to get in on it while it's dipped because they're going to go back up again. So it's pretty easy to figure out what it is. I've talked about it a bunch on the channel. I'm not big on LaMelo, and I am not big on draft. So those are two things you got going against you there, B. Draft to me is a pretty worthless product in general. I did not see Jackson Hayes' arrest, but I don't know that he has a lot of hobby love anyways as a defensive big man. Marvel cards for investment, probably PMGs, precious metal gems from 13, 15, and 17. If not that, 94, 96 modern masterpieces. Or Marvel masterpieces, rather. They're very, all that stuff I just named is already extremely expensive. Oh, nice. Franco and Acuna at the Tampa Bay show. I think, I could be wrong on this. I think Flipping Steve and Dustin are going to be at that show. I'm pretty sure they're both going to be at that show. I could be wrong. Yeah, ASM 361 came down a lot. It's not surprising though because there are a ton of those. Like I scoff at a lot of the pop count stuff when it comes to comic books, but that is one that there's legitimately a decent amount of. I still like the book. I still think it'll hold okay long term value compared to a lot of other stuff. I still would like to own a copy personally. It's just low down on my list of priorities because I know I can always find one. I know I will always be able to find that book. Okay, so I'm yawning. I don't know why. Whew. I was at a show yesterday. Plenty of cards to buy, but I feel the amount of buyers is shrinking a little. Just my opinion. Hard to tell. That individual shows are very anecdotal. It just really depends. I felt a little bit of that around some of the local shows here, but we also had show fatigue going on in Ohio. I think we had like 6 straight weekends with shows all within an hour of each other. And you could tell towards the end of that run, people were just like, can I get like a couple weeks off here? Um, so Cleveland shows start back up again in 2 weeks in September. Their first show September 12th, and then that'll be a monthly show. They only run it in the fall and winter. So I'm excited to check that one out again. And then my Canton show's coming up pretty quick here at Hartville. And then there's a one of one sports cards. They're pretty big on IG. They have a shop. It's about 45 minutes from me. They're doing a trade night. I think I'm going to try to hit that. I need some more details on it, though. So Panini and Tops did away with purple. Like a 7.5. I actually like, well, no, I can't even say. Yeah, like actually probably like an 8.5. I don't know what it is about those. I really don't. I only buy graded comics. I have no patience for grading raw comics. I do not have the brain space or the want to go down that path. So yes, I only buy slabs. What did the blue Vlad? Oh, the blue Vladdy went for 3K. I posted about it. Yeah, blue Vlad closed at 3K on the button. So after eBay fees, that seller netted out about probably 2,600 bucks. So I did pretty well on mine because I got 3,400 cash for it. So Flair's not bad as well. I just think masterpieces and PMGs are going to hold better value long term. What's up, Superbad? What's up, Michael Ham? Are you going to the big Tampa show this coming weekend? That's this weekend, right? So people in chat were talking about it. I know you're a Florida guy. I assume you're making the trip over for that. Yeah, it's a full time job without it being a full time job. Yeah, there are a lot of shows now. A lot of just local, like smaller local shows, 50 table shows, 40 table shows, 100 table shows. Um, for sure, there is a lot of show shenanigans going on right now. Lucas Silver Prism BGS 9.5 at 3K, a reasonable price. Rough math off the top of my head, that seems about where it should be. I think a PSA 10 is between 5 and 5.5K right now. So that sounds about right for that. Subgrades would matter, like if it's True Gem, Min Gem, True Gem Plus. So What's good, Neo? Hold 2020 optic megas or sell? I, if you're into them for retail costs and you don't need the money for anything else, just let it ride. They might dip a little bit, but overall, I think you'll be okay. But if you need the cash, sell it. Just depends. Like, do you have the confidence in your ability to sell that, take the money from it, and put it into something that will go up faster than those will? That is the question you should always ask yourself if you're saying, should I sell X, Y, or Z thing? Especially something like wax, because it is still a good long-term hold. May have to hold a little bit longer, but can you make more money faster by just having the cash in hand and having the money to go make plays with it? So, yes. Oh, the 10 minutes from my house. Oh, beautiful. That's looking like it's going to be a pretty big show. Are they still doing the cruise thing too? I thought there was some weird trade night cruise thing for like high rollers or some shenanigans. What do you think is the perfect balance PSA price for ultra modern value? So bulk, probably $30 a card with about an 8 to 10 month turnaround time would be my guess. It just depends. As a buyer, it should benefit you. If you have cash in hand and there's more shows and people are more spread out, that should give you the buying power. I watched part of Dakota's video. I did not get to the second half of it yet. Definitely a lot of shows going on. Dakota has some low-key trash talking about your fantasy drafts because Dakota didn't even know what a best ball league was. I don't want to hear about Dakota dropping fantasy football knowledge on people. I was on his channel on Saturday night and said I've been grinding best ball leagues, and he's like, "What's a best ball league? How do you take fantasy football seriously? Not know what a best ball league is? The ultimate mock draft tools, paid best ball leagues." Jesus. I did not buy a Lucas Silver Prism PSA 9. I got two Optic Hollow PSA 9s. I went that route instead because I couldn't find a PSA 9 for the price in a silver, Prism Silver that I wanted to pay. But I did find Optic Hollow PSA 9s and prices that I wanted to pay, so I went that direction. Not my thing. Using future bets to hedge card plays. Seems like it's getting too cute, personally. With the massive print runs from Panini over the next few years, I'm really concerned there'll be too many ultramodern cards. Maybe the play is vintage while prices are somewhat low. Vintage is always a pretty good play as long as you're not buying in like back last February. Plus, I think it's still fine to buy like, 2016 guys, 2017 guys, 2018 guys, even the right Zion and Ja cards. And there's going to be guys that you're going to want to buy cards from in the upcoming rookie classes. It's just a matter of cherry picking the cards that are actually going to hold value long term. Any concerns that football hasn't had much run up preseason yet? And does it seem like the run up was before the draft? Could this carry in the NBA with a dull preseason? No, I'm not concerned at all. I actually think this is the way things should be working, to be quite honest with you. The market is very stable right now, in my opinion, especially if we're just talking football. Prices are not recklessly going up just based off pure spec and hype. Prices are also not just crashing to the ground. That is staying perfectly flat because nothing's really happening. I think the second things start to happen, we've already seen it. Drew Lock was benched, Teddy Bridgewater was starting, and the price graphs went in the directions that you expected them to go in. So to me, this feels exactly like where a normal market should be at, in my opinion. So yes, okay, cool. Sounds like it's gonna be a really good show. Sounds like it's gonna be a really good show. I think that'll be maybe. We don't know yet because Otani's not going to the playoffs, so he could dip early, even though the MVP. Here's the thing with the MVP, it's kind of baked in at this point, in my opinion. Everyone knows he's going to win it. We're this late into the season now. Like, even if he would go out September 1st and not play the rest of the month, I don't think anyone would catch him, to be quite honest with you. I could be wrong on that, but I do. I love Mojos. They look really good, and White Sparkle look really nice too. I'm a sucker for disc or like fast breaks too, like fast break optic hollow, really nice. I'm not planning on attending any Browns games this year. I'm old and I like to sit at home on my couch and watch all the games. Christian McCaffrey and probably Devontae Adams or Tyreek Hill. Durant tops PSA 10 better than Luca. Depends on the Luca. And it depends on the tops. There's like 15 versions of that Durant tops. I like checkerboards a lot. Super expensive though. Very short printed. Nice. What's up, iPost game? I wouldn't be surprised if they don't buy both. Like if I could see Panini getting left in the dust, but I think they would make a play on Panini's assets. Because if Panini loses all the license and they're just going to be a sticker company again, they don't need Donruss, they don't need Prism, so they could sell those brands off. They don't need National Treasures, they really don't need Flawless, so they could just sell that IP rights off to Topps/Fanatics, and that would still give them the ability to make products under those names without having to actually buy Panini outright. I actually think it's less likely that they buy Panini as a whole because Panini's an established European company and they can always just go back to doing that. So, the Juice Man, what's going on? Oh, Charles Fuchs, Mr. PMG himself. I'm still waiting on that 87 Kitty Pride PSA 10 to come my way that you're holding out on me. Could Anthony Edwards and Ball be a sneaky PSA submissions of PSA or $100 bulk service as their pops will be low even to flip within 6 months? Sure. But how many other people do you think are thinking the exact same thing? That would be my question. I think there would be a race to who gets their PSA order back the fastest. I don't know if they're going to drop big time, but they're going to pull back. Otani's extremely popular, and he'll have a lot of hype going in the next season. Maybe I would probably try to find guys that are too cheap, like the non-headliner guys. We'll see. I'm sure I'll get suckered into something. I like this draft class so much better than last year's draft class. I'm going to be enticed. I might be enticed on some Evan Mobley stuff from a PC perspective, just from a Cavs side of things. But I'm really intrigued by a lot of guys in this class. This class looks really good. NL MVP is a mess right now, to be quite honest with you. I saw people were saying Austin Riley hype the other day. I don't know that I have a go-to advanced basketball stat. It's more eye test and just listening. I go with listen to as many people as humanly possible when it comes to pundits. So my day job, I'm in the car all day, most of the day, and my phone is loaded up with NBA podcasts. Slave one in the background. I freeze and satisfied snowflakes. Hope we're well. What's up, Vegeta? We got Vegeta in the chat going all Super Saiyan. M Perk, what is going on? I had the pleasure of meeting M Perk at the National as well. Hung out with him at Trade Card Collector 2's trade night at our table for a while. Nice. Nice. I hope Otani's cards drop so I can buy more of them. I am getting a LaMelo-based Prism on Thursday. What should I be doing with it? Wait for PSA. LaMelo-based Prism, I would check comps. If it's a good flip in an SGC, I would just send it there and be done with it. To be quite honest with you, if you think it'll 10. What's the best move for grading $200 to $500 raw value cards right now? It's not HGA. It's SGC or wait for PSA, to be quite honest with you. I would not. You could not, other than Marvel cards, because I think they would look cool. You could not pay me to send HGA sports cards. I would check comps on SGC and PSA and see what makes sense. A $500 raw card value, I would almost think would make sense for PSA Express at $200, depending on what PSA 10 comps were. It's really a matter of what do nines go for, and then is it worth the risk for a PSA 10 if you think it could 10? But it's just a math equation. The J.K. Dobbins injury is exactly the reason I don't carry ultra modern cards in the NFL season, other than quarterbacks and other than just very few. Someone else, this was retweeted on Twitter, so I do not remember who originally started this, but someone was talking about Todd Gurley. He's 27 years old. He was the best running back in the league, and he's sitting at home and no team wants him. That sums up the reason I don't like to hold anything football longer than off season. The only reason I'm holding Baker is because I'm a Browns fan. And I do think he's a little too undervalued still. Pump and dump alert. Cavs need to get rid of Kevin Love. It's not that simple. Nobody wants him. I wouldn't judge it by that because a lot of people are going to hold courtside silvers for PSA, to be quite honest. Or they're sent in the PSA already at the $200 level. Time will tell on that one. We'll need to see how the pop reports play out, but I hope so, because that would at least salvage something out of Select. If anyone, it's going to be Sexton. They love Garland. They're going to let it ride and see. The indications are from the beat writers that follow the team on the daily have basically said that it's going to come down to how much money does Sexton want on his extension at the end of this year. If he wants a max, he'll be gone. If he's willing to take less than a max, they will hold on to him. David Rips, the like police. I like it. Smash the like button. We are creeping on 10,000 subscribers as well, ladies and gentlemen. I'm like 50 away from 10K. And I said the other day, where'd it go? Find it. When we hit 10K, we go live to rip the legendary G.I. Joe box. Anyone that has been around on the channel for a while knows that I bought this like 8 months ago, I think, right before PSA shut down. I bought it to rip to grade. And then PSA closed, and I said, welp, I guess I'm just holding on to this. And every once in a while, someone will be like, what's up with the G.I. Joe box? When are we ripping the G.I. Joe box? So when I hit 10K subs, we will rip the G.I. Joe box live. Nice. I think this is 1992? 91. 91 Impel G.I. Joe. I had this set when I was a kid. I remember putting this together as a 10-year-old because I loved cards and I loved G.I. Joe. We'll set that right there. There we go. Have Duke looking over my shoulder. Oh, I fell drastically behind on chat with that little ramble. Oh, not as far as I thought. The pink Otani's legit, man. The pink Otani looks so good. I don't want to dig through the case. It'll put me further behind on chat, but Riley has been on fire. His cards have been on fire, too. I saw they had a live stream. I'm going to circle back and check that out after. That could be the case. I still wouldn't use them. I do not trust HGA at all. Do not believe they are a legitimate company. I mean, they're a legitimate company, but I don't trust their grading at all. They've graded so many fake cards already. It's ridiculous. More and more fakes keep going through HGA. If you're buying HGA slabs on the secondary market, I would not buy anything remotely old and high dollar. There have been a lot of examples of fakes coming out of them. I get that everyone's had fakes go through their grading, but for as young as HGA is, they're getting a lot going through them. Someone DM me a bunch of information on They graded a bunch of fake Pokemon cards. Yeah. So no thanks. I get why you don't like Sexton hobby wise, but how can you not love him on the Cavs? It's actually the opposite way around. I prefer Sexton. I prefer Sexton's cards over Garland's. Garland's the better actual NBA player. Um, Sexton doesn't play as a teammate. He doesn't play in a system. He just wants to score, which is fine, but it's at the detriment to the rest of the team. Whereas Garland actually wants to like run the team, and Sexton's just doing all sorts of shenanigans. You do not receive a YouTube plaque until 100K subscribers. Love said he does not want a buyout, so that is not going to happen anytime soon. Thoughts on 2019 NBA rookie disappointments and whether they'll rebound? Kobe White, Rui, Hero, RJ Reddish ranked top 10 2019 rookies. I won't sit here and rank the top 10, but I think a lot of those guys you mentioned are intriguing if you can get into them cheap enough. I just have not had time to research it yet. I'm going to do like a bargain basement PSA 10 Silver Prism NBA video. I'd like to anyway. And just kind of go through their risky plays, especially Kobe White would be the one I would like the least off that list you just ran off. RJ, who I'm generally not a fan of, but him and Cam Reddish would probably be the two that I like the most. Tyler Hero, I still worry that he's not going to get enough playing time on that team. Rui's semi-intriguing, but I think Rui gets more buzz than he deserves, to be quite honest. I'm the wrong guy to ask about Trout rookies. It's not my shtick. I personally think they have a bad rep, in my personal opinion. I believe they missed that they were fakes. But what was told to me is they were pretty obvious fakes. NTRPAs, it used to be BGS's playground, but that's a tricky one. You'd really have to look the card over and see what you think. I would probably still lean BGS, but I don't know if that's the right answer, to be quite honest with you. I really don't anymore. I don't think you're not doing terrible going with BGS, but I do see more of them coming through in PSA slabs lately. Thoughts on 2020 NT Bro gold to 10, like RPA or just a straight gold to 10? I would have said PWCC auctions prior to that whole mess, but probably eBay auction, honestly, or list it high and see what rolls in. I'm actually not a fan of horror movies. I do not like horror movies. I don't like jump scares. Thoughts on marketing to the Cavs? It's whatever. I think Larry Nance Jr. is the better player. Marketing will help their offense. He's going to kill their defense, which is one of their bigger problems. So I don't know. It's whatever. I think they'll be a decent league pass team, but they're a top 5 lottery team again next year, in my opinion. Is Ohtani undervalued based on what he's accomplished this year so far? Just based off this year, no-ish. If he keeps doing it, yes, he's drastically undervalued. What he's done this year is absolutely insane. Like, it's absolutely insane. And I actually think he's not getting enough credit for what he's doing, to be quite honest. It's absolutely ridiculous. The question, and especially when it comes to card values, is can he keep it up over multiple seasons? He's already pretty old by baseball standards. And by what I mean by that is he's starting his career late. So it's not like he's going to have 15 years in the big leagues. And then the question becomes is how long can he keep doing this for? And if the answer is a while, then his prices are drastically undervalued. But doing both jobs is going to lead to more injuries, more likely things go wrong. It's it's a very interesting conundrum. But what he has done this year is the craziest thing I've ever seen when it comes to baseball. Absolutely ridiculous. This is the golden question. Is it what's longer? How long they can hold out on fixing the label, or how long is their backlog going to get before they do something? Both are key questions right now. And what is up, Slab City? Label's definitely a problem. Their backlog is drastically becoming a bigger problem. RPA 9. I would try to find a consigner to auction that for me, to be quite honest. That's a pretty pricey card. I don't know that I'd want to deal with shipping that myself personally. And I want to get as many eyes on it as I possibly can. So I'm a Storm Shadow guy. I almost always lean villains. BGS customer service is the worst of all of them. I will not disagree with that. Spoilers for an upcoming video. It has not been recorded yet, but I've been wanting to make this for a while. I'll probably record it Wednesday or Thursday. It's going to be if you could fix one thing about each grading company, what would you fix? And mine for BGS is most likely going to be customer service. Dwayne Haskins is not good. Yeah, but the difference there is that he was strictly a hitter and not a hitter and pitcher, and I think that is going to take a tear or wear and tear on Ohtani at some point in time. I really do. The fact that Ichiro just played outfield allowed him to have a lot longer career than someone that's doing both. Maybe eventually Shohei gives up pitching and just hits. That could definitely be a play. So that's something that could happen too. But then does he have as much value? If he's just a 40 home run hitter without striking out 100 and some guys a year and 10 wins or whatever, does he have the same level of juice to him? So there's been rumors of them making slight adjustments to it. Inner sleeve, I believe, is one change, and maybe a slight security upgrade to the label, but I don't think we see any drastic slab redesigns. Card values will depend on where he goes. I ultimately think he still ends up in Portland or a mystery team like that we're not thinking of. There's a lot of T-Wolves buzz about Simmons because the old GM is friends with the Sixers GM, but there'd have to be a third team involved because the Timberwolves don't have anything the 76ers want. I actually think it drags on into season. I think that's going to get messy. I really do. I would agree with this statement. The BGS pop report is a pain in the butt. Do you think Fox at SGA value suffer from small market trash teams, or are they just good enough? It definitely hurts their value because they're never going to make the playoffs on those teams. And they're both really good players. I'm kind of with you there on the whole PWCC thing. I'm going to be very curious to see what that platform looks like when it launches. Very, very interested. I will for sure try it out. I don't know if I'll sell anything on there, but I'll at least look at it for buying. You're a fool not to. Because even if you don't, excuse me, even if you don't want to get involved in their auctions because you're worried about show building, there's still going to be a buy it now platform on there. So, CC2 has not done a trade night since prior to the National at the shop. He said it was going to be a hot minute until the next one because I think he wanted to get things settled post National. So we'll see when the next one is. 101 Card Shop in Strongsville, Ohio is having a trade night on September something, 12th maybe, 11th, 18th, I think it is. You can check their IG page. They're in Strongsville, Ohio. Pretty nice shop. I've been in there once, but I've talked to those guys at various other functions, some of them. That could be the case, Nachos. It really could. I don't know. I've never had to consign something, so I'm a bad person to ask on that in regards to like which one to use. Prior to PWCC, I would have used them on eBay for a high dollar card personally, but now I really don't know. You could do Probe Scene or DC Sports Cards or whatever it is, or PC Sports Cards are both pretty good. Yeah, that's what I heard they were going to as well. That they were developing an inner sleeve like Beckett has, because a lot of people wanted that. What is going on, Elliot in Vegas? That would be nice. The CSG slabs are gorgeous. The label sucks, but the slab itself was gorgeous. Well, I like the Stan Lee auto. I like the Luca auto too. Uh, if they're priced the same as eBay, they're not going to move that fast. You need to factor in that you're getting a 10% savings on seller fees. Things priced correctly on my slabs, if it's a liquid card, will move and will move fast. I don't know about fast, but yeah. Brady the Goats. What's up, Jeff? Have they announced times yet? I keep seeing the thing, but I don't see any times anywhere. And if I just want to go for trades and I don't want to go for cornhole, what time do I need to be there? I would like to attend that event. Are you setting up that day at Hartville and then going to that? Tom Brady the Goat is one of my local dealers. Sound like a drug addict. Hey, what's up, collector? I just don't think most people know about them, to be honest. I've never done a deep dive on them. I think any of those KD Tops cards are pretty good long term. I'm retired. Yeah, right. Till October. Jalen Green could, but KPJ is going to get his. I think those two are going to. I think the Rockets need to get rid of John Wall and just run all the kids out there. Get rid of John Wall and Eric Gordon. Send them to purgatory. Let the kids run the asylum, and they will be one of the funnest league pass teams out there. They won't win a lot, but they'll be a fun league pass team. Peace out, carddeal.com. Yes, I am still very bullish on comics. You might probably missed it earlier. I opened or the early part of the show I was talking about. I've been spending the last 4 to 5 days deep diving, trying to find a specific higher dollar comic that I want to make a move uh, on this recent dip. It's to me. Maybe I'll do a video about this. I think it's a huge advantage playing in multiple markets. Like pick your second market, whatever it is. Like sports cards is the primary, and then have something else, whether it's comic books, Pokemon, Magic the Gathering, Yu-Gi-Oh, uh, graded video games, whatever. Because then you could play the two off of each other. And I've talked about this before. Because I was heavy in the comic books, I missed buying a lot of sports cards when the market was at its peak. Because when the market was at its peak, I was buying more comic books because that market wasn't. And now I'm in the same boat. A lot of things in sports cards feel priced correctly right now. So I am looking at comic books because comic books are on the dip. And then I could keep moving in and out of the two markets, every so many months, depending on where things are at in certain places. And I think it's prevented me from buying some things when I shouldn't be buying them on both ends. Because then the comic book market spiked way up and all the sports card market crashed. So I stopped buying comic books and jumped back into sports cards. So I know a lot of people don't care about comic books at all. Um, but I do think it's worth having something else besides sports cards. Plus, it just helps spread your risk out a little bit. So you're not all into one thing. 70% gem rate. That's really nice. Now, was that a bulk sub you sent yourself, or was that through a group submitter, Elliot? I'm actually tomorrow's video. It's already recorded and posted. Um, is about the PSA data from August using gem rate stuff. Well, that's not good. My monitor next to me. I have 3 monitors. My monitor to the right is absolutely freaking out right now. I have never seen it make this screen. I think it just died. It's been on the fritz for a while, but I think it's dead. Personally, now I own no Joe Burrow, so I have no skin in this game. Um, I would sell Burrow now and look to try to maybe buy him back in a couple months. Go to the local, just my local dealer. Tom Brady the GOAT is my local dealer. PSA has really been cranking out orders lately. I do think 2017's optic design keeps the value down a little bit. I still like the hollows, but a lot of their colors and stuff just do not look great. I thought you were retired. You just said you're retired. Now you're buying in bulk. Can't have it both ways. I either want you set up in your corner or the sales post is getting removed. For investment purposes, not really. For just funsies, any of the Marvel Universe stuff. X-Men 92 Jim Lee. Love X-Men 92 Jim Lee. Absolutely love X-Men 92 Jim Lee. One of the best looking cards out there. Got Magneto that I just got back from PSA. Just an absolutely gorgeous looking set. Love this set. I don't think it's investable per se. Probably a couple key cards out of it will do okay. But for just a fun collection purposes, great box to rip. Absolutely great. New to grading consumer, but don't hear anything positive about PSA other than resale values. Is there something else? Many complaints about inconsistent grades. You're buying the brand, basically. It's like buying Apple. It's as simple as that, really. And I think a lot of people are absolutely fine with their grades. I think it's a vocal minority, if that makes sense. Like, what's going to get more traction? People coming out complaining about something, or people coming out and saying, this was working exactly how I thought it was going to work? It's like the nightly news. I agree. Comic books greater than sports cards. I have my little slab stands right there behind me. A little disorganized right now. I just threw the third one up, but got my Jim Lee X-Men 11 right that way. There in the middle. ASM 252 right there. And Uncanny X-Men 133 right there. One of my all-time favorite covers. Yeah, I don't even use a loop, honestly. People ask me all the time, how do I look cards over? I just use an LED flashlight to check surfaces, my own eyes, and a microfiber cloth to wipe them down. I don't even use any magnification. Thanks, Elliot. I am not sure about Trevor Lawrence yet. I actually think one of the other ones might beat him out. Uh-huh. I am not interested in Topps Project 2020 or Project 70. Some of the cards look cool from a PC perspective. I personally don't think they're investable. The only time I have team no looked is when I submitted through Ryan a Card Collector too. I went team no look on that one. I didn't ask for the grades until I picked them up at the shop. But um, yeah, there's no way I would ever do team no look. I would click the link before I knew it even happened if it was my own. Sure, I could share my audio video setup really quick. I am using a Blue Yeti microphone. It is on a boom arm, the blue boom arm with a shock mount. You do not need something that fancy. You don't need the arm mount. I would highly, if you're taking YouTube even semi-remotely seriously, at least buy a decent microphone. The rest, you could figure it out, but at least invest in a decent like Blue Yeti X. I think this one is. It's like $200. If you're remotely taking it seriously, it's probably the most important thing to spend money on. You can get away without it for a little bit, but eventually you're going to need it. So just pull the plug and get one. You do not need a fancy camera. You could just use an iPhone. I have multiple cameras set up. The camera that I'm looking at right here is a Canon Rebel T7i. This camera right here that I'm looking at was not purchased for making YouTube videos. That was a camera I got as a wedding present for my parents. My family has always done amateur photography, taken it quite seriously. So this was a gift to take pictures on vacation. I have multiple lens setups for this whole 9 yards, but it is a very nice digital camera. It was bought for the sole purpose of taking digital images. I repurposed it for this because I wasn't using it unless I'm on vacation usually. So it's just sitting on my desk on a small tabletop tripod. And then when I do mail day stuff and have stuff out on the desk like cards, I use a Sony ZV-1, which this could easily just be an iPhone. I personally upgraded because I wanted something smaller to record on to be able to shoot video at shows and stuff, which I ended up not doing a lot of because it's a pain in the butt. But I wanted a small compact camera that was not my phone and that was not this camera, because the problem with this camera is it's big and a lot to carry around. I also have this on a swivel arm mount, which is really nice. You don't need it. You could just set up a tripod. But the way my desk is, I needed it because it was the only way I could have it set up and out of the way. My desktop video, my normal videos, I record through OBS, and then live streams I use StreamYard for. That's pretty much the gist of it. But if you ever have any random behind the scenes YouTube questions, feel free to DM me on IG. I'll answer whatever. If you need help with equipment or how to run things. Do I think March cards will be back through Christmas? Maybe. It depends on what they do. They are... Well, watch tomorrow's video. I talk about this in tomorrow's video, actually. Spawn 1 CGC 94 shipped. For the PC, as my budget can't do higher than that. What was your favorite growing up as a sweet cover? Favorite covers, if it's for PC, do whatever. Do whatever. Get whatever you want and whatever grade you want that it looks good sitting on your desk. My favorite covers growing up were around the same era. It was the 4-cover panel. I've talked about this a bunch. The 4-cover panel for X-Men Jim Lee, the blue team that had 4 panels all together that formed one really big long panel. It's the most printed comic book in history, I think. But I absolutely love those covers, specifically the Magneto cover and the Cyclops and Wolverine cover. But they're all pretty good. And then of modern-ish covers, that X-Men 11 back there, I love a lot. I've talked about that a bunch on the channel. And then I like classic X-Men #1 is another one of my classic covers that I really like, along with that X-Men 133. Right Monitor, I report fresh in from Woj. Right Monitor has come back. I repeat, the Right Monitor is back. But the Right Monitor has been dying for about 8 months now. Right Monitor needs replaced. So future tax write-off, Right Monitor will be coming at some point in time. The only thing I use my Right Monitor for is monitoring YouTube stuff, so it's not something I'm like constantly looking at. So it's fine that it cuts out every now and again, but it's getting to the point where it's getting down there. I fell way behind on comments again. Yeah, figures are good. They hold value if you get into the right ones. So it's any _ Ohio sports cards, Jeff. Rumors are there's going to be Avengers something coming. We just don't know what. But Spider-Man Metal is next. That was today's video, and I'm super excited for Spider-Man Metal. I'm not gonna lie. More excited for X-Men Metal, but I'm excited for Spider-Man Metal. Yeah, the vocal minority always rules the roost. I don't watch much wrestling anymore. SGC ever actually get some sales value increase? Seems PSA still moves at SGC sits, but more great SGC right now. That pretty much sums it up, NU Collector. You can make money grading with SGC, but it's you just got to be careful. I mean, talk to Tom Brady the GOAT is a sets up at my local shows. At Jeff, feel free to comment. Like you see SG slabs walk up to the table all the time. Do you? I don't know if I've ever seen. How do I think you have some SGC cards in your case if you're still here. How do you see SGC as a dealer at a local card show? Give some thoughts in the comments down below. Because Jeff sets up at least once, twice, sometimes 3 times a month at various local shows. That's Tom Brady the GOAT in chat. So he can give you the dealer perspective on it. PSA has plenty of issues. No one is perfect, but if one company can do it all wrong, PSA has hit the nail on the head. That might be the case, but they still sell for the most, and everyone still wants them. 253 card order in queue at PSA called me today because they pinched a card. I was just begging for my grades, but they wouldn't tell me. That's funny. Did they? I assume they made that right, Rookie Mania. Sorry, just scrolling through chat trying to get caught back up again. So if I miss something or skip over something, my bad. Just repost it. It can be. A PSA 10 can have a couple really tiny things. Sorry, just 1 second. Sorry, I had to respond to a message really quick. Yeah, you could find some very small flaws on it, and a card will still get a PSA 10 if that's the only thing wrong with it. And Perk just got an SGC order back today, really consistent. I put a lot of work in evaluating the cards. This order is mostly 9, 5s, and 10s. That's how it should work. Maybe. I need to look to see what the resale values are on them. Because ideally, if I was going to put a set together, I'd want to go after a PSA set registry. I did see the DAC Gold. We already talked about it earlier. I really don't know what to say on it because someone screwed up somewhere is basically the gist of it. Yikes. Play the flip game. Nice. I will say, the Card Collector 2 order being a blind reveal was a lot of fun. I would love to say I would do that again, but I do not have the willpower. So if I have access to just go to my account and click something and see the grades, I'm not going to be able to resist that. So someone would have to like take the internet away from me while the cards were shipping back to me. So Marvel all the way. I don't care about DC at all. Buddy Hield's intriguing on the right team, but he's never going to be a superstar player. He would be a above average, like way above average role player on a championship team. What's up? It's Miller time. Have they announced official selling fees yet? I may have missed that. What are the PWCC selling fees? Have they officially announced what they're going to be on the new platform? Lakers 23 now. No, don't get caught up in this dumb stuff. What do you think about the investing technique of Lakers 23 LeBron now that he's changing his number to 6? Don't fall for this stuff. This is like buying This is the same trap we all fell into last year with buying first year LeBron cards because he was wearing a Lakers jersey. I do know that there is a variant to the Jim Lee X-Men cover with a silver background. It's extremely expensive and extremely rare. Personally, I would go with Luka because it has way less injury risk. But a lot of people might disagree with that. That's an interesting question, though. That's a good poll question. I might post that as a poll. I might steal that. I might be getting stolen. So, Santos, check out my community page. Maybe I'll post that as a poll tonight for what do people think is a better investment. That's a very interesting question. My lean would be Luka, but I'm also more of an NBA guy. But I just think Luka has less overall risk because of the sport. Yeah, I mean, you got to price him at about 60% of a PSA 10 is typically the range, depending on the card. Jaylen Brown's sneaky. I just picked up, I think I talked about this on Dakota's channel. I have not shown this here yet. I got this off my slabs the other day. Jaylen Brown PSA 10 Mosaic. Got this for like $150. That's right at comps. Just seemed like a really good price for a player that I feel is undervalued. Just nice looking card. So I snagged it. Well, at least they took care of you. Thank you. It's Miller time. How do I feel about Transparent Grading Team? I'm also excited about Spider-Man Metal. So Transparent Grading Team, Pittsburgh, who I've met before at a couple local shows and talked to them at the National for a while. I like the idea of what they're doing with basically graders notes. That's a thing on the comic book side already. I'll just be quite honest with you, though. I am not big on any of the smaller grading companies. I just worry about them actually being around for the long term. That's the reason why PSA, BGS, and SGC get so much love is because they've been in the hobby for 20 or 30 years already. You know, nothing against Pittsburgh or Carson's or any of these other ones going around out there. But what are the odds that all these small grading companies exist in 5, 10, or 15 years? So if you're grading for PC, it's fine. Do whatever you think the card looks best in. But if you're actually doing it to resell cards, which that's the focus of my channel, I personally would not use any of the small companies, no shade on any of them, for resale value. It just makes no sense for resale value. For PC, do whatever you want. For resale value, my concern is which ones are actually going to be around in 5 to 10 years. That's part of my big concern with HGA. I don't know if HGA is here in 5 years. CSG I have more faith in because they're tied in with CGC, Blackstone, etc. Maybe a little bit of Fanatics, maybe. We don't know yet. But that's my concern with the smaller grading companies. I think it's a very interesting idea what Pittsburgh's doing with the graders notes. But anyone could really do that. It's very time consuming, and I think it would be extremely hard to scale as well. But it's a really cool concept for sure. Like, shout out to him for doing that. That's a great idea. When do I think PSA will add bulk orders back? Probably not until next year. Check out tomorrow's video. Tomorrow's video, I do a little PSA speculation. The holograms are some in PSA 10. That's about it. I didn't. Okay, so I opened like 8 boxes. I really didn't see much that I thought was gradable, but I was not, to be honest, I was not ripping that product to grade. I was ripping that product to put a set together and get some cool inserts. So I did not view that. If I pulled like a really nice PMG, I would have sent it in. My Wolverine arc weld, I would have sent in if it didn't have a soft corner because that was a super short print. The PMGs that I did pull were crappy characters, so I didn't feel like they were worth grading. I have heard that Upper Deck was well aware of the printing issues that they had with X-Men Metal and were very disappointed in it. And that I am hoping that they get Spider-Man Metal right. So Ironic that I can wait for grades, but a sealed box can't survive more than a few weeks before I give in. Well said, Mperk. Ah, okay. All right. Yeah, I think I might steal that. I just got to remember to post it. I need to get on this. I do not have a PO box at the time. I need to get one though. It's been on a list and I just haven't gotten to the post office to get there. Status are nice looking. I prefer Revolution personally on lower end entry level rookies, but a lot of status stuff looks really nice too. That wasn't transparent grading team slab that snapped in half like that. I still can't believe I was watching that. There are a lot of random grading companies out of there. Ah, Inglorious, what's going on? Dallas card show was similar to last time. A lot less sales for dealers though. High end was not moving. I think there's a little bit of show fatigue going on. I think that shows a little too often now. There's a lot of show competition right now. I don't know if they need to. Once they get caught up and they open things fully back up again, a lot of people are going to stop subbing to these smaller companies. When you say oldest cards, do you mean like year printed or how long I have had them for super bad? Because I have a lot of cards from when I was a kid that like I like bought as a kid. I don't have anything like ultra old. They actually talked about this carddeal.com. Someone asked them this on Twitter. The question is why doesn't my slabs allow you to send messages back and forth? They basically said that they didn't want to deal with having to police it if people got salty about getting messages that they didn't like. So I don't with 1% seller fees and buyer fees, it's not like they have to run a pretty lean ship. It's not like they're making a ton of money on sales. They're not getting 14% like eBay does. They're getting 2%, one from the buyer, one from the seller. So a lot of those little luxury item features, you're just not going to get. I agree with you. I wish it was there. I think I would find it helpful. What I would like to see, ideally, instead of that, if they can't do that, I wish there was a way you can bundle multiple items together from the same seller and submit an offer on multiple cards to try to get a better deal. I should message Ken about that because I actually have. I talk to the CEO from My Slabs every couple weeks, so I'll have to mention that to him. See if that's something maybe they can pull off. Yeah, at times I would find the messages useful. At other times I would. Where I would find it useful is if I wanted to buy multiple cards from the same seller. Like, hey, you have 3 Trey Young PSA 9 silvers. I would like to buy all 3. What kind of deal can I get on all 3 of them? That's where I would like to be able to send a message. So you can eliminate that by saying allowing me to like put cards in a basket and make an offer on the basket would solve my specific need for wanting to send messages. So one PSA 10 rookie to buy and hold for the next decade. Would it be Trey Young, Luca, Melo Ball, or Tatum? It'd be Luca. NASCAR just doesn't get a lot of buzz. It's boring. Yes, I agree with this. Inglourious says a lot of complaining from the Dallas show. Dealers saying it's too often. I don't know that it's that much of an issue. The bigger issue is country opened up again and it's not the only show anymore. Yes. Before, Dallas was basically like a mini national because it was the only game in town. Now, every section of the company has a large regional show. There's a Tampa show this weekend. There's a Boston show. There's multiple Boston shows. There's 17 shows a day in California, it feels like, based off YouTube vlogs. Vegas is having a show. Um, you know, Nashville's having just had a show, and they're having another big show in a month. So, yeah, they're not the only game in town anymore. Yeah, I don't mind the no messaging, but I would like to have the ability to offer bundle packages. Um, 24 to 48 hours tops. I think I got approved in like a couple hours when I applied. eBay fees do make me sad as well. Um, My Slabs just announced they have 30,000 users, I think. I don't know what Star Stock has. Here's the advantage with My Slabs is you still have the card in your hand, so you could post it multiple places. So if I wanted to sell the Jaylen Brown mosaic that I just got, I could put it up on eBay for 175, let's call it. And then I can put it on My Slabs for 150. I'm going to net out the same. I have the card cross posted. Just because you put it on eBay doesn't stop you from posting it other places. Plus, it's still in my hand to be able to post on IG or a Facebook group or take it to a show or whatever. So, but you need to price things correctly if you're putting it on My Slabs. I believe this is coming at some point in time. Wiz Collectibles, save searches to My Slabs. They've talked about it before, and I've mentioned that was one of my biggest questions to them when I talked to Ken, the CEO. Oh, I'm not in their Facebook group. I should probably get on that. Pretty much this, Elliot. I check mine multiple times a day when I had cards at PSA. You're not wrong, the Juice Man. Yeah, you're in Vegas, Charles, right? The tax thing's really going to suck next year. It really is. It's going to make a lot more work because you're going to have to track everything. If you're like a low volume seller, for people that already are doing it as a business, like it's fine. They're already doing it. But if you're like, you sell a couple $1,000s worth of stuff on there a year, it's not something you ever had to concern yourself with before. Now you're going to have to. It's really going to blow. There's no way around it though, because you're going to get hit on PayPal too with the same rules. So it's not like you could say it's not an eBay specific problem. The tax changes next year. That's going to affect eBay, PayPal, goods and services, the whole 9 yards. So other than cash at a show, you're not escaping that. So you're not wrong, but you can find deals on there if you look for stuff. I don't follow the Pokemon market at all, Inglorious. But you're right. Once again, spoilers for tomorrow's video. I go through gem rates data for the last month of PSA stuff. I go through a high level version of that, and a lot of the cards coming back are TCG cards. It's NBA by a large margin, then TCG, then baseball, both very close together, and then football in that order. Um, but yeah, I don't follow the Pokemon market at all. I have not been told that. Yeah, and My Slabs is still a small thing. Like they're not, you know what I mean? They're not on eBay's level yet. They're gaining. I mean, are you priced fairly? Is my first question. When anyone tells me that they have cards not moving, My first question is are you priced correctly? I agree, Vegas. Taxes are going to hurt the average guy. Boy, Dave, I wish I knew anymore. I kind of talked about this with Dakota a few weeks ago on a live stream somewhere. I don't remember whose channel it was on. It almost feels like maybe we're getting back more to normal on it now. It's going to depend on what we see happen here in the next few months with the NBA market as we lead up to the season. Does stuff start to tick up? Football didn't. NBA is a different beast, though. So I think NBA will slowly start to tick up, and it may still be the best time to sell in season. It's going to be one of those things you have to monitor. If prices don't see big increases prior to the season starting, and you like the player and think he's going to play well, then maybe you hold him in the season and dump in season. It's just really going to depend. I think this football stuff's going to tell us a lot over the next week. I forgot that the season, there's a week off in between now and the season starting. So we kind of have 10 days until the season actually starts. I am curious to see what the NFL market does over the next 10 days and what happens once we actually get into the games, and can we draw anything from that for the upcoming NBA season. Select sensations. Is that an insert set? Select sensations. I'm assuming that's an insert set. I'm not big on rookie inserts personally. I mean, if you like the card, you do you. And I don't know if that's a good price or not. I mean, if it's going for around 300, that's pretty much probably what you're gonna have to pay for it. But I'm personally not big on inserts. My pro eBay tip is make your eBay user ID the same as your IG. First thing I do when I'm interested in something on on eBay is check to see if the seller's user ID is on IG. It's the first thing that I do. That too. This is another low key big tip. I know a lot of people, the last thing anyone wants to do is pay more in eBay fees, but 1% promoted listings is the GOAT. 1% promoted listings if you really want to move a card. Very sneaky play. I don't give that one out very often. Any bin that I've ever listed on eBay in the last 2 years has been a 1% promoted listing. I still haven't seen the number yet. I've heard people talking about it in chat, but what's the actual percentage? Does someone have the actual firm number? And is this just for bins or is this for everything, like auctions included? You said it. The increased exposure fee, you set it. You choose how much you want to go to it. The higher you set it, the more exposure it gets. But even just that 1% makes a big difference, I found. Yeah, I mean, for real, if your IG name does not match your eBay handle or vice versa, get on that right now. Yeah, I changed mine. I had the same eBay name for 20 years almost since eBay first came out. I've had the same eBay name. I just changed mine a year ago to match my IG. It doesn't put it at the top of searches, but it throws it in like if you're looking on the app and you scroll down and it's like other things that are related to this, it puts it in that group of stuff down at the bottom. I think it does help it in search results to a degree. No one really knows what it does, to be quite honest. I just know I sell stuff a lot faster when I do that. PWCC's pricing is based upon. I'm gonna have to look this up. I'm gonna have to look this up. Rage 508. What is going on? I see, or is it just me? I'm not sure what you're referencing. I may have missed what you were talking about earlier. Most of the deals happen on social media. Oh yeah, gotta have the same name. I just don't think they hold value as well in the modern age. There's too many of them. It's not like the '90s. I just most people are going to want to look for the actual true rookie. The only thing that I make an exception for that, like, is if you consider kabooms or downtowns inserts. That's a different. But just like random inserts, like my houses are okay. Net Marvels would be another one that I would say like is a perfectly fine insert. In fact, that's a really good insert. There's just very few inserts that catch mainstream hype, and that's what you need, to be honest. Oh, perfect. I'll take a look when I get a second. Always great advice. Collect what you like. You can adjust it. You can adjust it to whatever you want. I usually do 1%. Yeah, like I know those are inserts, but like that's a little different. I'm just talking like the random, like, freshman phenoms from Prism and stuff like that, and Splash from Optic, that sort of stuff. Yeah, I usually set mine at 1%. I don't want to give him too much in the way of seller fees. But it just goes back to the whole you want stuff when it comes to inserts, you want stuff that has a lot of people looking for them, and most people are not looking for your average insert. Um, and just because something's low pop doesn't mean that it's good. Talked about that a bunch lately. A gettable box of cards, what would you get? I'm going to ask a follow up question to this. Um, for funsies, or to like rip and grade, or to hold the box sealed? Because I have a different answer depending on what it is. Yeah, exactly. Case hits over inserts. Perfect way to say that. You should make a YouTube channel. You're doing better than me. 90s basketball inserts were really good. A set of ultra modern cards. Probably. Ugh. I'd probably start on eBay and see if you can move it at one of the bigger shows. Like if you have a regional show, walk it around to a dealer table and see if you can move it. I do like Revolution. I low key like Revolution. Later, Elliot. I like Carl Anthony Towns. This stuff's pretty cheap right now. I do like Cats. I don't know that he's gonna have good hobby value, but I like the player. I think that there's some low key. He's gonna get traded one day, and his prices will go nuts. Angle there, but you might have to hold for a while. What's up, peeps? Lamar's pretty pricey already. There's a lot baked into Lamar, and I'm starting to have a lot of concerns about that Ravens team with all the stuff going on. No, I don't own any Steph Curry. I'm not looking to run out and buy any Steph Curry. Steph Curry's a villain in this household. Am I completely off the subbing train at the moment? Yes. I don't really have anything to buy or grade other than some Marvel stuff, really. All my Raw stuff that I had left, I sold in a big lot to Tom Brady the Goat, who was in chat earlier. And I don't rip wax, so I don't have an influx of Raw cards coming into the house. So the only the only wax that I would rip, say that 5 times fast, would be if I found it at retail and I don't actively go out and look for it at retail and I don't have a bot to buy it online at retail. So I just don't have any Raw cards coming into my inventory, really. Yes, there is. That's what I've spent the last 4 days on, is trying to track down one particular comic book that I want to cross off the list because it's a hefty purchase, and I want to knock it out before I do much other spending and anything else. When you say exceed expectations, are you saying like card value wise? Curry wreath for you for Christmas. I had to go to war with Curry for 4 straight years in the NBA Finals. That's the last card I want in this house. AFC Championship game, I'll say, for the Browns. Um, I'm gonna obligatory say Baker because I got to pump and dump Baker whenever I can. Who else? Kyler Murray and Russell Wilson. I mean, I just talked about these in my video, so I'm gonna go back to that one. Zach Wilson does look sneaky good. I agree, Rage. I don't know that I want any of his cards, but I think the Watson thing's out. I think there's be. I don't know if Tua's stuff dipped, but I think buying Tua, if he did dip, was an interesting play because I think that Watson stuff. A lot of people seem to debunk that today. I didn't realize there is an Ohio accent when I say raw. That's interesting. Never bought a UFC card. Don't know much about him. Tua is whatever. He's fine. Pump and dump conspiracy theories. Uh, love it. I heard it was a 400K offer, not a 500K offer. And if he did, he's crazy. The Ravens team is quickly falling apart. Hollywood Brown is out for a while, hasn't practiced all preseason. Rashad Bateman, their big draft pick, is out to like the midway point. They just lost J.K. Dobbins. It's really Lamar, Gus Edwards, and Mark Andrews. I think the Minshew trade was more about Minshew's a really good backup quarterback, and they got him for literally nothing. I do not have any vintage unopened Star Wars toys. I have vintage Star Wars toys, but they are opened and heavily played with. Who wins the AFC? I mean, the Browns. Jeez. Put it on a T for me. Good Lord. Probably go another few minutes here, then wrap up. I'm going for almost an hour and a half. We'll shoot for an hour and a half. So we got about 5 to 10 minutes more, we'll say. Who wins the NBA this year? That's a way trickier one. Assuming health, I'll say Lakers in the West, Nets in the East. That's a very cop out answer. Thoughts on the new Spider-Man trailer? And it was absolutely fantastic. I would like to open a box of the new Star Wars Chrome, but I cannot find any locally, and I don't feel like having it shipped. Uh-oh. Spam bot action. You know you made it when the porn bots come, boys and girls. Would you rather invest in Star Rookie PSA 10s or Hall of Famers, Hall of Fame PSA? It just depends on what you want to do. Do you want to buy cards and stick them in a box and forget about them for 15 years? Or do you want to play the buy and flip game? Different strategies, both are viable, but just depends what you want to do. Do I think Jake Paul did Cleveland Brown? I did not watch that. Kareem Hunt's going to be very good this season. What's your favorite Baker rookie, not counting the booklet, that I own? The flawless RPA that I own, this one right here, that I personally own. This, not even close, really. BGS 9.5 flawless out of 15. This is the one I bought off Flipping Steve. Just in general, that like a more normal card, Optic Hollow PSA 10 and a Silver Prism PSA 10, which I will probably never own. I would love a Silver Prism PSA 10, but they are so expensive and super rare. What is going on, Tom? I would say Silver Nines or Optic Hollow Nines if you're under $500. Those would be my two go-tos. Have you bought and held a CSG slab yet, Neo? Why? Yes, I have. Right here. Love the slab, hate the label is the quick 10-second thoughts. I actually, if you look through my past videos, it's probably within the last month. It was right after the National. So within the last month, early August, I posted a video specifically about my thoughts on SGC having had slab in hand. Will Topps flood the baseball market with minor leaguer cards once MLB contract expires? Maybe. Who's to say that Fanatics doesn't get the MILB license prior to that? Quite a bit, in my opinion. Did Steve hook me up with a discount? I paid fair market value. Terms of that deal were not disclosed. Thank you. Oh, yeah, it's all good, peeps. But that's the quick one. I absolutely, the slab is one of the best slabs I've ever had in my hand. The label sucks. It's pretty much the too long didn't read version. 140 and 55 likes. What is going on right now? The madness. Also subscribe if you haven't. The quest for 10K and to rip the G.I. Joe box. Yeah, CSG slabs are fantastic. The label blows. And they have a serious backlog problem. A serious backlog problem. Which is scary considering they haven't really been open that long. All right, a couple more minutes. Last minute questions, go. You have 120 seconds before I start rapping. I will give you a solid 2 minutes to ask any last minute questions that you may or may not have. While I'm thinking about it, I'll start the vamp. Tomorrow's video is going through Gem Rate's PSA data for the month of August. Give a little bit of thoughts and predictions on PSA reopening things, potentially. Some thoughts on that. What else? Dakota's live stream Wednesday night will be me crushing him in fantasy football. I haven't checked in on Tatis's prices off the top of my head lately, but I am. Whenever I think Tatis hits a floor, I would be interested in buying. I have not seen the new PSA slab. I've heard rumors, but I have not seen it yet. The CSG slab is one of the clearest slabs I've ever seen in my life. I was really, I really wanted to go to the Causeway show in Boston on October 16th. I don't know if I'm going to be able to make it happen. My wife just started a new job, same company, but got promoted. And her new job requires a lot of travel. And that's probably going to screw us over a little bit because she wanted to come with me because we love New England in October. And my job is about to get crazy because of vaccine booster shots. So, yeah. I really wanted to do Causeway in Boston. I don't think it's going to happen. So I don't know. I don't understand the hate for flipping Steve Sharpshooter. I'm going to buy all the Celtics. I'm good with the label. Going for the color match label, HGA style. Yeah, I think I do hate Curry more than KD, to be honest. I did deal with Curry for longer. KD wasn't on the team for the first 2 years. All right, we'll pretty much wrap up there. But yeah, tomorrow PSA talk video. Wednesday not sure yet. Thursday not sure yet. Friday not sure yet. I don't usually plan out content that far ahead. Wednesday night, Sports Cards Anonymous Fantasy Football League, where I crush him. I am not a nurse, but I work in the pharmaceutical industry. It's going to be rough. I'm going to see what I could do, but it's going to be really tough. I think it's only a 1-day show, too, right? Just the 18th or something, 16th, October 16th. But I would like to try. But yeah, that's all I got for you guys and girls tonight. So check out the content, smash buttons in YouTube algorithm like things, and catch you guys and girls on the next one. Peace.